Imagine waking up one morning and your throat is closing. Your body is burning from the inside. You cannot stand. You cannot eat. And there is not a single thing on this earth you can do about it. No hospital to go to. No number to call. No medicine sitting in a cabinet. No doctor who can explain what is happening to your body. Just you. A fire that is getting smaller. And a darkness closing in from every direction. This was not a nightmare. This was Tuesday. For almost every human being who ever lived. And yet somehow, they survived. Generation after generation. In a world that was trying to kill them. In ways they could not see, could not name, and could not understand. This is that story. And it is one of the most remarkable things the human species has ever done. First, you need to understand what ancient humans were actually up against. Because we tend to think of disease as a modern problem. Something that comes from crowded cities and polluted air. And the way we live today. But disease is older than humanity itself. Bacteria have existed for 3.5 billion years. Viruses even longer. Parasites were already ancient. By the time the first human being drew their first breath. Your ancestors did not stumble into a world of disease. They were born into one. Surrounded from the very beginning. By invisible enemies so small. They could not be seen with the naked eye. Enemies that had been evolving and adapting. For billions of years before we even arrived. And they had absolutely no idea any of it existed. So what killed them? Parasites were everywhere. Intestinal worms. Flukes. Protozoa living in water sources. Ancient humans drank from rivers and streams. Shared by every animal in the landscape. Every drink was a gamble. Waterborne illness was not occasional. It was constant. Respiratory infections spread through every group. Living in close quarters around smoky fires. Sleeping pressed together for warmth. One sick person could infect an entire tribe overnight. Infected wounds were a death sentence. A cut from a stone tool. A scratch from a branch. A bite from an animal. In a world before antiseptics, the most minor injury could turn deadly within days. And then there were the diseases that came later. As humans started living near animals, keeping them close, eating them, sleeping beside them, diseases began jumping from animals to humans. In ways that had never happened before. The ancient world was not peaceful. It was a permanent biological war. And the human body was the battlefield. Now here is where it gets fascinating. Because ancient humans did not just lie down and die. They fought back. Not with medicine as we understand it. But with something older than medicine. Something built directly into the fabric of human society. The first weapon was each other. When someone in a group got sick, the group responded. This is one of the most profound discoveries. In modern anthropology, scientists have found ancient skeletons, showing injuries and illnesses that should have been fatal, infections that went on for months, disabilities that made hunting impossible, conditions that would have made survival completely impossible alone. But those people survived. For years, sometimes for decades, which means someone fed them, someone brought them water, someone sat with them through the fever. Someone decided that this person's life was worth protecting even when they could not contribute. Care is older than civilization. Compassion is older than language. The instinct to help a sick member of the group is one of the oldest things about us. The second weapon was observation. Ancient humans were extraordinary observers. They had to be. In a world where every plant, every animal, every source of water could kill you, paying attention was survival. And over thousands of years, they began to notice patterns. Certain plants made pain go away. Willow bark, the natural source of aspirin, was being used to reduce fever and inflammation, long before anyone understood why it worked. Certain leaves cleaned wounds. Certain roots settled an upset stomach. Certain berries brought down a fever. This knowledge did not come from science. It came from watching, from trying, from failing, from someone dying so the next person would know not to eat that plant. From generations of accumulated observation, passed down through memory, because there was no other way to pass it down. Ancient humans built a pharmacopoeia, without laboratories, without chemistry, without any understanding of how the human body actually worked. Just pattern recognition refined over thousands of years. And some of it was astonishingly effective. The third weapon was fire. This one is underestimated almost completely. Cooking food destroyed parasites and bacteria that would otherwise have entered the body. Boiling water, when they learned to do it, killed waterborne pathogens. Smoke from fires kept certain insects away, insects that carried diseases far more deadly than anything the fire itself could cause. Fire was not just warmth and cooked food. Fire was a public health intervention, 1,000,000 years before the concept of public health existed. The fourth weapon was the human immune system itself, and this is perhaps the most remarkable weapon of all. The human immune system is one of the most sophisticated biological systems ever evolved. It learns, it adapts, it remembers. Every pathogen it encounters leaves a record, a blueprint for how to fight that enemy faster next time. Ancient humans who survived disease passed their immune memories to their children. Populations that survived epidemics carried genetic adaptations that made their descendants more resistant to those same diseases. This is evolution happening in real time, generation after generation. The ones who survived were the ones whose bodies had found a way to fight back, and they passed that fighting ability forward. You are descended from the survivors. Every single ancestor in your line survived disease long enough to have children. The immune system running inside your body right now was forged in conditions that would terrify you. Refined over millions of years of biological warfare. It is the most battle-tested thing you own, but here is the part of this story that nobody talks about. Ancient humans also got lucky in ways they could never have understood. Small, isolated groups meant diseases could not spread the way they would later. No city of 1,000,000 people packed together. Just small bands of 30 to 50 individuals, moving across a landscape. When disease hit, it hit hard, but it burned through quickly, and then it was gone. The apocalyptic plagues that would later devastate civilizations, the ones that killed millions in days, those required dense populations to spread. Ancient humans lived in a way that accidentally provided a buffer against the worst of what disease could do. They did not know this. They were not doing it strategically, but it saved them anyway. And then farming arrived, and everything changed. When humans stopped moving and started settling. When they began living in permanent communities, surrounded by their own waste, drinking from water sources contaminated by animals living nearby. Disease exploded in ways that had never been seen before. The agricultural revolution gave us civilization. It also gave us epidemic disease on a scale that nearly destroyed us multiple times. The ancient hunter-gatherer, wandering across a clean landscape, was in many ways healthier than the farmer who replaced them. Here is what all of this means. Ancient humans survived disease, not because they had answers, but because they had each other, because they paid attention, because their bodies were built for exactly this fight, and because they kept going, even when they had no idea what was trying to kill them. The next time you take a single antibiotic tablet and watch an infection disappear in 3 days, remember what it cost to get here. Millions of years of suffering, millions of deaths, millions of people who fought with nothing, so that eventually someone could find the answers they never had. You are the end of that line, and you are the luckiest person in it.